The regular meeting council for January 8th to order at 3 p.m. And I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Kinghorn that council adopt the agenda for the regular council meeting on January 8th as amended, as we would like to add one motion regarding the Rimrock Biodigester approval and our ability to appeal the approval based on a couple of items.
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. You have my motion.
Thank you. You got to get out of here, don't you? All in favor? Carried. Did everybody have a good Christmas? Let's talk about that for a few minutes. Hey, how was your New Year's? Kinghorn wants an earlier flight. Ask for a motion from Councillor Jones that an omnibus motion adopts the following in accordance with Council's procedure bylaw, December 11th regular council meeting minutes as presented and the strategic priorities chart.
I'll give you that motion, Mayor Snodgrass.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Any public comments before we get started? See none, hear none. Go. Highwood Memorial Center, hardwood floor refinishing. Go ahead, Riley.
Thank you, Mayor. Previously, Council had issued a letter with regards to supporting the grant application at the Memorial Center to refinish the hardwood floor. The grant application was declined. The feedback with regards to that grant was that even though there was a letter of support, the funding wasn't secure. So in advance of the 2024 budget, and to enable the Highwood Memorial Center to hit the next grant deadline, which is January 15th, before you is a motion to approve the $40,000, which would be our portion for moving forward with the grant application. That would ensure that they have secured funding for the grant application on January 15th. Any questions?
So pretty simple. Oops. No questions. Ask for a motion from Councillor Walsh that council authorize a budget of $40,000 in the 2024 budget for the Highwood Memorial Center to enable the Highwood Memorial Center Society to reapply for the Community Facilities Enhancement Program, and that the $40,000 be funded from the Community Reinvestment Infrastructure Fund.
You have my motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Thanks, Riley. Any councillor reports? Board and committee reports? Pardon me? Oh yeah, my addition. I was sitting here looking at the council correspondence where the biodigester is, so I was going to put it in there. Okay, let's deal with the addition. 5.2. So this is in regards to the biodigester approval that Rimrock received there a couple of weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago now. So what we would like to do is, Chris has looked into this, and it seems as though we do not have to, because we didn't know about the project at the time, we weren't able to put an SOC in because we were outside the 2-kilometer boundary. We didn't have to be notified. We didn't get an SOC in because we didn't know the project existed. At this time, what normally happens, I guess, is that an SOC is filed when the application is made. But now that the decision has been made and approved the biodigester, then only those that submitted an SOC can appeal it. And then we would have to be an intervener underneath that appeal, which isn't the greatest thing in the world. But we ran this through our lawyers, and we are being advised that we can actually do our own appeal against the approval based on pieces that we've always kind of fought for regarding this biodigester. The main one is the fact of the liquid digestate ponds, that we have always wanted them enclosed. And we have always wanted that liquid digestate to be contained. And at the very least have some type of cover over top of it to keep the wind off of it, so that if there are any smells, that they don't drift in and affect our community from the biodigester itself. That's been Tidewater has made changes to the designs of those ponds, but albeit not to our satisfaction, and I've fought back with them saying, I don't care. They have to be covered in our mind so that your project does not affect the town of High River. They say it's a financial problem, that to cover ponds that size would be a bit of an issue, and my response is, not my problem. That's the way we want it, and oil and gas companies have always been very, very good at being innovative and figuring things out. So it's either that, or you go to a tank system and contain the liquid digestate directly in tanks. So we've got a couple of motions here, so that in regards to the application and the approval itself, there's only certain things we can do in there. But the other thing that we want to the piece, Jody, or are we going to deal with that later when Michael's back, right? So the other piece that we want to deal with, and I'm going to wait for Councillor Nychuk to be back. He wasn't able to be with us today, so is just in regards as to how these biodigesters throughout the province, not just High Rivers, are regulated. Right now it's kind of stuck between Alberta Environment and the NRCB, and who's actually overseeing it and watching it is a little bit confusing right now. So we feel that it's an energy producing facility. That's the whole premise, is to take manure and turn it into natural gas, and we feel these biodigesters should be under the guise of the Ministry of Energy. So that's a whole other process separate from what we're doing today. But I think the town wants to be part of the leaders in changing some of the regulations as to how these biodigesters are regulated. So I'm going to simply ask for a motion from Councillor Kinghorn that Council direct administration to prepare a letter of appeal on the approval conditions to construct and operate the proposed biodigester facility at Rimrock Feeders under Section 91, subsection 1A2 of the Environmental Protection and Enhancement Act, RSA 2000, Section CE12, as amended, and further that Council direct admission to also submit a letter under Section 95, subsection 3 of the Act to make representations to the Board once an appeal has been filed.
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. You have my motion.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. The details, this has to move fairly quickly because the deadline for appeals is on Wednesday, so staff is drafting all those and council will see the final drafts come through in emails. So going back, no council reports, no board and committee reports. Any final comments from the public at all? See none, hear none. Council correspondence, correspondence regarding the biodigester, correspondence from West Winds, Alberta Wilderness Association, and the Sports Fiesta 2023. No further comments. Meeting adjourned at 3:09 p.m. Thank you very much.